Hello and welcome to the fourth installment of this little mini-series on tank basics. Today we'll be covering equipment of various kinds. Most of this stuff applies more to modern tanks than anything else, as tanks have gotten more and more equipment as they have become more and more advanced as time has moved on. All tanks in War Thunder are equipped with a radio, which when used will pop up with 4 options, 4 categories. The most commonly and practical of which are in the report category, where you have cover me, follow me, repairing and such for your ground vehicles, and you have leading for landing and cover me for air vehicles. Your tank sight comes with various features to help make your life easier. First and foremost is the standard magnification of the sight, and on some vehicles the variable magnification of the sight picture. This allows you to more easily spot enemies at range and in general just get a better view of what you're shooting at. When you are sitting in your gun sight and you do not have anything to shoot at, finding a distance marker is a good idea. In this case, it could be this big tree right here. So simply rangefind to that, and then you know to your range marker, your distance marker, there is 800 meters. This can then be used as a reference point for how far or how close things are to you. This in general works best with easily identifiable objects in places you expect enemies to show up. For example, on this map, the wreck there would be a good reference point for the moving target out far. It says 1100, we know there's a bit further, so we'll go 1200. And you get an immediate hit. Additionally, the default sight in War Thunder comes with both distance and linear movement markers, so you can use the linear movement to get a estimate on how fast any given vehicle is moving. You can use the distance marks not only for measuring or accurately placing your shot. If you use the gun sufficiently often, you will be able to start knowing that in this case 2000 meters corresponds to roughly 600 meters of distance, meaning you can actually range find simply using the sight rather than relying on manual range finding or laser range finding for that matter. Speaking of the laser rangefinder, this is quite literally just what it says on the tin, and is a laser used to measure the distance to the point you're looking at. This goes out about as far as you can actually see, and in most cases further than the maps in the game or the effective combat range of your vehicle. Just like with your sight picture in a normal tank on radar is PAA, your radar will give you a ton of useful information and some handy tools. For instance, we have a compass indicator, in this case showing which direction I am looking in and which direction the potential target is in. Additionally, once you log on, you get a distance to target as well as their velocity relative to you. In this case, you can tell that the aircraft is turning around and starting to head back towards me. Additionally, we have the vectoric indicator below the logon picture showing roughly what bearing the aircraft is going in, and the lead indicator for that specific moment in time. Smoke can be used in a variety of ways. Here shown being used offensively to move up on an enemy vehicle and potentially shoot them on the way. Additionally, smoke can also be used defensively, where while moving, and preferably while having allies nearby, you find an enemy who incapacitates you without immobilizing you. You can use your smoke to create some momentary cover as you move from the position he last saw you at and into some cover where you can overlook and repair safely. As mentioned, this works best if you have allies to cover you, or the enemy can simply just use the smoke screen as an offensive tool and push up on your position. Additionally, if you have an allied who've been damaged, you can use your smoke to help cover them, as done here. And if you're in a vehicle that allows it, or in a squad, you can park up next to them and help them repair while defending a different angle than they do, sitting nice and safe. And the last kind of smoke, we have engine smoke. This creates a long line of smoke as you essentially pour diesel onto the exhaust. It does last quite a while and it does not protect against thermal imaging, so consider when you use it, and generally only use it when you and your team are pushing up and you want to cover the team or yourself on a retreat. Additionally, the way you should not use smoke, but a lot of people do, simply because they do not know better, is what is generally known as panic smoke. Panic smoke is when you, alongside your team, pushes up a flank and it's all going absolutely brilliantly until someone gets shot. In that moment, the person getting shot and immobilized often pops smoke in a panic, effectively blocking their own and their allies' vision to the enemy position and preventing any allies from eliminating the threat to them, while the threat to them will still know roughly where they are, as they've been immobilized and, well, they're still in the line of fire. There's just some smoke in the way. If you do it, I will personally come smack you over the head, so do not do it. Okay? Good. Finally, some of the more modern tanks, well, most of the more modern tanks, come equipped with night vision equipment for various crew positions. Most commonly in MBTs, it is for all crew members that can see out of the tank, which in War Thunder relates to anybody, any view you can be in will have the night vision. Is very simply just a method of amplifying what little light is in the surroundings and essentially improving the human eye's night vision capability that way. This does have the slight side effect that if you're looking at very bright things, it can get very, very, very bright. And with the addition of flares to night battle, it can sometimes be as much of a handicap as it can be a benefit. And finally, we have thermal imaging systems found only on high BR vehicles. This simply just highlights areas hotter than its surroundings in a bright color in this case, while leaving everything else relatively bland and colorless. Like with night vision, different tanks come with it in different views, and it can be used both during night and day, as it does not amplify any light, it simply just highlights heat. It can make it fairly difficult to actually ID a tank at long ranges, or if you're fighting a tank behind soft cover, it can quite easily muddle the signature and make it even more impossible to know what you're shooting at and where to shoot it. Thanks for watching, and thanks to Flannel and Pancake for helping out with vehicles for recording stuff. Tune back in on Friday for a tank review on the Broombar, and on Wednesday for the final part of the Tank Basics series. Don't forget to subscribe. Thanks, guys.